A very good afternoon to all. So today we'll be discussing about an instruction cycle. So in this, in order to execute an instruction, we will be having these phases in an instruction to complete a execution of a single instruction. Okay. So in a basic computer, a machine instruction is executed in the following cycle. So first one is fetching an instruction from memory. Second one is decoding the instruction. Next one is read the effective address from memory if the instruction has an indirect instruction. Now let me explain what is this effective address. See here, it is clearly mentioned in this. Read the effective address from memory if the instruction has an indirect address. If the instruction has an indirect address means you must know what is effective address. What happened? Okay, so let me give with an example so that you can understand clearly. So let us consider this is your memory. Okay, this is your memory where you have at a particular address. If you go to that address, you are getting one more address called 200. So this is nothing but address of address, which is indirect address. So if you go to that particular address 200, if you go to that particular address 200, you will be getting the data. You will be getting the data. You will be getting the data. Okay. So now what is effective addresses? Effective address is the address where using that address you will get the operand or a data. You will get the operand or the data. So in this, the effective address is 100, or according to your knowledge, tell me what will be the effective address. Is it 100 or 200?
200.
Yes, 200. 200. So effective address is the address. If you go to that address, you will be getting the data or an operand is effective address. Okay. So read the effective address from the memory if the instruction has an indirect address. Means what? So we need to if you go to this 100 location, you will be getting 200, but this is not your the actual data. So again you need to go to that location, then you will be getting the data. So this is your effective address. Now if it is 100, then you have, this is also a memory, let us consider. So here in a particular address called 100, you have a data. Okay, you have a data. Then what will be the effective address one? What will be the effective address? Here is
100.
100 is a this is your memory. Okay, so this is your memory, and we have at a particular address called 100 one instruction load A. Okay, we have load A. Okay, now 101, 102, 103. Now let us consider a processor is executing some other task. Now processor has to execute this sequence of instructions which are present in a memory. So in which register I have to place this 100 mark? In a program counter. Okay, so program counter, if you need to place 100 in a program counter. From this means program counter is what? It stores the address of next instruction that the processor has to execute. Already some other program is executing. Now the next instruction after completing that must execute this. So I'm storing here as 100. Now from this it has to store in which address to go to that particular location, ma'am? This 100 which is present in program counter must be placed in which register?
Memory address register.
Memory address.
Program counter contents which is 100 must be placed in which register?
Memory address register.
Memory address register, which is we will be saying as address register. Okay, so why we are placing this address registers? See this diagram clearly, ma'am. We have a memory. So this is your memory. We'll be having two operations that we discussed in a common bus structure. One is read, and the other one is write. and the other one is write. Okay, so this read and write, so for this, when you want to fetch, when you want to read, this has to be connected to an address, and for a memory there will be a connection with AR, there will be a connection with address register. Okay, so next will be PC, next will be IR. So we'll be discussing that now. So here, whatever the program counter is there, it stores the address of next instruction that the processor has to execute. From this, it has to be given in an address register. So now address register is 100. Now address register is 100. Now next step is what? So we, in an address register we got 100. Then what will be the next step? Let us consider from a program counter whatever the address is there that we placed in an address register called 100 at a particular time called T0, at a particular time called T0. Now for T1, for a time cycle T1, what happens? What happens is the memory address, it goes to the memory, whatever the address which we have with this help, and it reads. So this read must be active. So whenever you are reading, this read must be active. For this to read to active, what we have to do is we need to connect this T0 to read. So we need to connect this T0 to read so that that will be active. So whenever it is active, then only you can perform an operation. So what we'll be doing is we'll be connecting with one gate called the OR gate. Try to concentrate, ma. Here we are connecting an OR gate, and that OR gate we are connecting to read signal. Okay, means what? OR means what? If any one of the input is high, then the output will be OR gate. If any one of the, yes, the output will be high. So I'm connecting this T0. Why? Because at this particular time T0 will be high. Why? Because when T1 is high, we are performing an operation called whatever the contents we have in a program counter 100, we are placing in a address register. That, so next is what? So in order to place whatever we have in an address register inside a memory, this read must be high, enabled. So what we are doing, this one, whatever we have, we are connecting to one of the input for a OR gate so that this will be high. So whenever it is high, whatever the data, whatever the in that particular address instruction is present must be placed in which one? In T1. Whatever in that particular address is there, in that particular address we have a load A, which is an instruction. So must be placed in which register? Must be placed in which register?
Instruction register.
Yes, IR. We need to place in instruction register. So starting, whatever we have in a program counter address, that address we have to be placed in a address register. Next, the communication will be with address register connected with the memory. So in order to go to that particular address to read that what we have in that instruction, this read signal should be high. So for that we have used an OR gate and we connected that with a high, so that we can, whatever the instruction that is present in that particular address, we are placing in a instruction register. Okay, next step is what? Can anyone after this please answer? What will be the next step? What will be the next step? Next is what? After that, whatever we have in an instruction, we need to do what? We need to do
Decoding.
this two parts in a timing signal T. Yes, decoding. Good, ma'am. So in this two, T0 program counter values we are storing in address register. Next, whatever we have in an address register, placing in an instruction register, fetching is completed. So T0, T1, what we have done. So here, fetching is completed. Next step, we need to do what? We need to do decoding. So for that decoding, you must know what? You must know the instruction format. You must know the instruction format to understand what is a decoding. So tell me instruction format, ma'am. Tell me
Mode,
instruction
output,
format, ma'am,
address.
fast. Yes, good. So next, the instruction format is one is a mode, which represented with IE. Next is an opcode. This instruction format is very important for us to understand the entire concept. Next is an address. From starting, we started with a word size as 16. So it starts from 0 to 15. Next, address size as 12 bits. Why? Because we have considered the memory size as 4096. So it will be from 0 to 11. And 12, 13, 14 we considered as opcode. 12, 13, 12, 13, 14 we considered as opcode. 15th bit will decide whether it is direct or indirect. So based on that, whether to read an effective address or directly going for execution will be decided based on the 15th address. So this should be ready for next. For decoding part, this instruction format should be ready. So means 0 to 11 is address, 12, 13, 14 is opcode, 15th one is a mode. So this, what happens, the next step is what? In T2, what we'll be doing in T2 first. So what we'll be doing in T2 is IR, which is nothing but instruction register. What we have from 0 to 11 must be placed in which register, ma? Instruction register from 0 to 11. What we have in this must be placed in which register?
Address register.
Yes, ma. Good, very
Address
good.
register.
So must be placed in address register. Why? Because as an instruction format is of three types. One is a mode, opcode, and an address. Whatever we have in a 0 to 11 must be placed in a address register. Okay. Next you must answer, ma. Definitely you must answer. So that's the reason that I said you to revise once. Now IR 12 to 14. Where we need to send this? What we need to do this? We need to decode that, no? Then only we can identify what operation is given, mentioned there. So for decoding, we have studied one called see here, this one. So what we have done here, 12, 13, 14 we send for the decoder, so that we'll be generating a corresponding output. Based on that, we'll be deciding whether it is a memory reference instruction. What are the three instruction types, ma?
Memory reference, register reference, and input output.
Yes, memory reference, register reference, and input output. So what we have to do is we will be decoding this. We'll be decoding this three inputs, and you'll be getting how many outputs? 8. So 8. Why I'm going here? Okay. So 8. So what are those 8, ma? D0, D1, D2 until D7. Okay. So opcode, we are with the help of a decoder size n by 2 power n, and here is 3 bits. So 3 inputs we are giving. So outputs we are generated will be 8. So 8 I represented with D0, D1, D2, so on until D7. Okay. So this is decoding. This decoding will decide based on which one is active. Based on this, we will be deciding whether it is memory reference or whether it is register reference or whether it is input output. Now, until this we completed. Next part is what? IR of 15. What we have in a 15th bit must be placed in I. This I will decide if it is memory reference, whether it is direct or indirect mode. So this entire part is decoding. So decoding is done at T2. Okay. So let me start with starting once again. So I want the steps for fetching. I want what are the steps that we have discussed in decoding. Then I will start the class. Okay. Next, in time T2, what we have done, ma? Time T0, what we have done? In order to execute an instruction, how many phases are there, ma? Fetching an instruction from memory, decoding an instruction, reading the effective address if it is indirect memory. Next, now first in T0, what we need to do for fetching means, first of all, whatever we have in a register, What we have in a register? What? Program counter must be placed in which register?
Address register.
Must be placed in address register. Next. Next in T1. Next, what we have to do?
Address register to instruction register.
Yes, we need to go to that memory address register. Means with the help of this address register content, we need to go to memory location, and in that memory location, we'll be getting an instruction. That instruction we are placing in IR. This two comes under fetch. Next part is next step is what?
Decoding.
So for decoding, it will be starting at timing signals T2. So decoding means you must know the instruction format. So IR of 0 to 11 will be having what?
Address
Address.
register.
That address must be placed in AR. Okay, next. IR. Next. IR of how many bits, ma?
3 bits.
12. 3 bits, 12, 13, 14 must be decoded, and you will be getting how many outputs?
8 outputs.
8 outputs, D0, D1 until D7. Next is what? IR of 15 must be placed in which variable? I. This I is a mode bit, will decide whether it is direct or indirect. If it is memory reference, and if it is D7 is active, it will be deciding whether it is whether it is register reference or IO reference. This until here it is clear, right? So let me go with a presentation. See here. So it is showing as fetch. Is my screen visible?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. So fetch and decode. So here fetch and decode. So just now we discussed, what we discussed? We discussed at T0 program counter value, the address contents will be placed in the address register. So we discussed already a common bus structure where and registers will be communicating with each other. So this one. This one. So in this you can see whatever how many registers used for fetching, those registers will be placed, and the remaining registers it is not showing in a fetch in a common bus structure. So the numbers will be same, like 7 is for selecting the memory in placing inside a memory, selection is 7, and AR it is 1, PC it is 2. So in the same way we'll be discussing about this common bus structure also, but only registers that are used for fetching we are placed in this. So the only registers are address register, program counter, and instruction register. So in this the same value selection lines called 7, 1, 2, 7, 1, 2 and 5 are used. Now let me start with a program counter. Okay, so I already said that at T0 whatever the contents which are there in a program counter must be placed in what? Must be placed in an address register. Must be placed in an address register. So for that, first of all, let us consider program counter is loaded with an address called 100. Okay, this address, whatever it is present in a program counter, must be placed in a common bus structure. So when can we place in a common bus structure is when we have a selection lines. 2 indicates what are the select. How can we write a selection lines by as 2, yes 1, yes 0. So how to write 001 or 010?
010.
So 010. So when we have 010 in this, then you can place whatever the address we have in a program counter in a common bus. So for that, what we are doing is we are using the input for selection lines. We are using OR gates, and for this OR gates, we are connecting one of the input as T0. I already said that whenever we are doing operation, T0 will be high. At a time t0 only, we are performing whatever the program counter contains, we are placed in address register. So this will be high. That indicates you will be getting 1 here, but even still the time is not there, so you will be having 0. And the t1 is connected to s0, you will be having 0. So perfectly you got 0 1 0. So when this selection lines are 2, then whatever the address we have in a program counter will be placed in a common bus structure, which is 100. Now next step is what? Common placing inside a common bus structure is not our target. Our target is to load this inside an address register. With the help of this, it goes to memory, then it fetches and it places in an instruction register is my target. So what I have to do to load in an address register is I need to make this load pin as high. So for that, again I'm maintaining for this load one OR gate, and I'm connecting this to T naught. So I'm connecting this to T naught. I already said that this will be high. So load will be high. This 100, with the help of this common bus structure, you will be getting here 100, and this 100 will be placed inside this. Okay. So it goes to that. It goes to that. It goes to that. Okay. Now read should be enabled. Read should be enabled. But read OR is what? It is connected to T1. So until this, it is over. In the time period T0, what we are doing? Just whatever the content we have in a program counter, we are placing in an address register. Enough. Okay. Next, in a timing period T1, what we have to do, ma? Just now I said no. Please answer. In a timing period T1, what we need to do? What we need to do?
Memory address to instruction register.
Yes. So we need to go to that particular address inside a memory, and whatever instruction that is present in that particular address must be placed in IR. Must be placed in IR. So now this is high. Okay, now this is high. This particular time T1 is high. So when this T1 is high, whatever the instruction, it goes to that particular address. But when it reads, when this is read pin is high, only it reads that and it has to place inside a common bus. For that, what I am doing is I am connecting this to T1, this one to T1, so that I'm connecting this one to T1 so that this will be enabled. Then whatever instruction that is present here must be placed in a common bus. For that, the all three selections S2, S1, S0 must be what, ma? Must be 7 indicates what selection
All
outputs.
ones, ma'am.
All ones. So all ones means what we have to do is we have to connect this T1 to all the AND gates. We know the output of AND gate is any one of the input is high, the output generated will be high. So you will be getting one here, you will be getting one here, and here also. Why? Because T1 is connected to all the three OR gates. So you will be getting 1 1 1. So when it is 1 1 1, this will be active, and whatever the instruction that is present in that particular address, the read is also active. Why? Because this is connected to T1. So it reads that instruction and it places inside a common bus. Let us consider in that instruction we have a load A. So this is loaded, and with the help of a common bus, it has to come here, and whatever the instruction that is present will be placed in a instruction register. For that, load must be active, then only it can load inside an instruction register. So what we are doing, we are connecting this to T1. We are
T1.
connecting this to T1 so that this will be high, and whatever the content which is available in the common bus structure can be loaded inside an instruction register, and there should be a common clock for all. So this is your fetch, only fetch. Okay, so this is your fetch timing diagram. So is it clear, or should I explain once again? Is it clear? Please respond.
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am. Clear, ma'am.
Oh, yes, ma'am. Thank you. So next, let me go for instruction cycle flowchart, which is very important. Instruction cycle flowchart. See here. So in this, what we are doing is first we are going with a sequence counter clearing to 0. Start with a sequence counter to 0. So till just we discussed already. Okay, so we are starting with start sequence counter with 0. Next is what? Next for t0 what happens? This, can anyone tell me t0, t1, t2, which timing signals are for fetching?
T0 and
For
T1.
fetch, yes, t0 and t1 is used for fetch. Okay, so these two are for fetch. Okay, so whatever we have in a program counter, we are placing in an address register and a timing t0. Next, what happens? This you need to concentrate more, na? So what is this is, whatever we have in our memory address register, we are placing in a instruction register. And this is what automatically, whenever program counter contents are placed inside an address register, automatically I said that program counter will be incremented by 1. So I already given a complete a lecture about a program counter. So what is a program counter? Program counter is used for storing the address of next instruction it has to execute, and if it is following sequence, it automatically increments the program counter by 1. As the program counter contains 100, which is present 100 is placed in an address register 100. Now 101 must be placed in a program counter. For that, in a timing t1, the program counter will be incremented plus 1. Okay, so this you should not forget. You have to mention along with the address register, whatever we have in that memory address, the instruction, if we are placing in an instruction register, along with that, parallelly it is incrementing the program counter by 1. So this completes your fetch. Next is what? Decoding. Decoding is, you must understand the concept called instruction format. So instruction format, again I'm repeating so that it will be very clear for you all. So instruction format, you will be having three. One is I, which is a mode. The other one is opcode, which is an operation code. Next one is an address, and this entire size of this will be 0 to 15. So this 0 to 11 indicates an address. So this 0 to 11 you are placing in an address register. You are placing in an address register. 12, 13, 14, which is an opcode, you need to go for a decoding. So input you are giving as 3 inputs, output you are getting as 8 outputs. So the 8 outputs are, so decode operation in IR 12, 13, 14. So you will be getting D0, the outputs from this you will be getting D0, D1, D2 until D7. And how can we decide which operation is? That depends upon D7. Why? Why this depends upon D7? Why? Because we already studied about memory reference instructions will be starting from 0000 to 0000 to memory
Zero
reference
one one
instruction
one 6 month
110.
110.
Yes, 0 to 6. Okay, 0 to 6 will be memory reference instructions. Other, if let us suppose in an opcode we have triple one, that indicates it is not a memory reference instruction. It is either a register reference or input output or input output. So D7 will D7 is a deciding one. So we have given a D7. So that indicates a D7 is not high. That indicates what? D0, D1, D2, D3, D4. Let me show that diagram so that you can see this one. Okay, so three inputs you have 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, this all in any one among this, any one is active, that indicates it is memory reference. If this is active, that indicates it is not memory reference, it is either a register reference or instruction or input output instructions. Okay, so this is a deciding one. If this is 0, that indicates, can anyone, if this is 0, that indicates it is memory reference. Next, which one is active now? If it is 0, any one from D0 to D6. Is it right? So if D7 is 0, that indicates which one is high. How can you know that which one is high? Means if it is in an opcode, if you're not present a triple one, that indicates it may be present in the top code either 000 or 001 or until 110, which indicates it is memory reference instruction. So D7, if it equals to 1, that indicates in an opcode we have triple one. So if it is triple one, we know that by seeing this opcode, triple one will be present in memory reference as well as in, see here, triple one will be present in register reference instruction as well as in input output instruction. Okay, input output instruction. So this I am considering as D7. Why? Because we send this 3 inputs for the decoder and we got 8 outputs. In that we are considering D7 as a decision to whether to identify whether these instructions are memory reference instructions or register reference instruction. So if D7 equals to 0, then what will be the instruction, ma? What type of instructions it is executing?
Memory reference.
Memory reference. If it is 1, that indicates
Register
if
or input.
D7 is 1, register or input output. Register or input output. So the register or input output. See here, if it is 1, register or input output. Again, to find out whether that is input output instructions or register reference instruction, that depends on this I. Okay, this 15th bit we placed in I. So this is your I. So if I is equals to 1, that indicates it is input output instruction. If I equals to 0, that indicates it is register reference instruction. So once this is decoding section. Yeah, this is the decoding part. Next, this is your execution. You are executing. Once this is executed, next we have to make sequence counter to again 0, and then again we have to starting with the next instruction. Okay, so now let us consider it is not 1 here, it is 0. That indicates it will be executing a register reference instructions and it will make a sequence counter to 0, and again it starts with the fetching of next instruction. Now let us come this side. Okay, so from this side again, concentrate, ma, this you must understand very clearly. So here I bit will decide whether it is direct or indirect. Okay, so if it is 0, now tell me what we need to do. If it is 0, then I'm not doing anything, nothing. It has to go for execution. Why? Because what we have done here, ma, what we have done here, the address in an instruction, whatever the address part is there, we send for an address register. So the data is ready now in an address register. If you go to that, we'll be executing directly. But now if it is indirect, means what? If you go to that address, you will be getting one more address, and if you go to that address, you will be getting a data. Okay, means what? Again, whatever we have, whatever we have in that address location, means what? We in this address location, whatever we have, if you go to that, we will be getting again an address. This address must be placed in an address register. So we are placing inside an address register. If it is 0, then whatever the this is present, we already placed. If it is direct, we already placed in an address register. It will start executing. So if not, if it is indirect, then again whatever, if you go to that particular address, you will be getting one more address. No, this address, which is called 200, must be placed in an address register so that it goes for execution of a data. So when I equals to 1 or when I equals to 0, it has to do this step. When I equals to
1.
when I equals to 1. So when I equals to 1, it is indirect. So if you go to that address, you will not be getting a data. Again, you will be getting an address. Again, that address must be placed in an address register so that we know that address register communication. You will be having an address register with a memory. So if you place that address register called 200, it goes to the 200, and whatever the data which is available will be executed here. Once execution completed, again it sets to 0, sequence counter to 0. Next it starts the next instruction, fetching, decoding, execution. Next it starts in next instruction, fetching, decoding, executing. This is a process of how instruction executes internally.